Hello YouTube. Thought I'd do a quick behind the scenes. How did I do over an 11-hour duty cycle live streaming test? So I want to show you how I did this, how things were set up exactly that day, so you know how I did this. The first thing I'm going to show you is I did a video about this, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'll try to post all these links down below. I built a custom duty cycle tester, and what you do is there's a display and you can select 100%, 90%, and it automatically will adjust the time for that particular duty cycle. It uses an MP3 file that I could customize, and I could have it play any message I want. So that I built that, and there's a screw terminal in the back of it, so I can hook up different radios. In this particular case, I wanted to test this as a full repeater. So I have it hooked up to a handheld that's on low power, hooked up to a battery eliminator. Now, I could have hooked this up directly to the jack, the microphone jack on the Retevis RA87, but I wanted to be a true repeater test. So this is what keyed up the repeater. This is about 120 feet away. The repeater's that way. I'll show you that in a minute. Now here is a fun fact that you may find interesting. I ran out of power supplies when I set all this up, and I scrambled to find a power supply that could power this radio, because this is on a battery eliminator. See the cable there? So what I ended up doing is I took the power supply of the Retevis RT97, well, either the S model or the non-S model, it doesn't matter. They're a 12-volt power supply, and they can handle 5 amps. Well, with this thing on low power, that's plenty. So I didn't want to take the jack off, so I had a cable that I hooked up that has this lighter, so I could plug in a 12-volt supply to power my battery eliminator. So that's how I did that. So I can still use this to plug in to the repeater, but I still have this cable that I can get 12 volts off of. So it worked really well. Now this is powered by micro USB. That's the power cable there, and like I said, there's a screw terminal on there that I can do to hook up anything I want, whether it's a mobile, whether it's a repeater directly, or if you can't hook it up directly, you can do it wirelessly like I did that night. So let's go out to the shack. I'm going to show you the setup, and I'll explain everything, and I'm going to put you on pause, and we'll be right back. Okay, before we get in the shack, I wanted to show you that I used an antenna for this test. Now you're probably thinking, well, why didn't you use a dummy load? And the reason being is because when you're at a repeater site, you don't use a dummy load. So I figured I'd use a antenna, and as long as my pre-recorded message on my duty cycle tester gave my call sign and what I was doing, that should have been fine and good enough, and that's what I did. So this is my custom built adjustable SWR J-pole. Again, I'll post links down below. That works really well. I got low SWR on it. It can handle a lot of wattage. So that's why I did that. So let's go in the shack, and I'm going to show you the exact setup. Okay, we're in the shack, and this is exactly how it's been set up. The only thing I did was hit stop on the iPad for the live stream. Nothing has changed. So what I got here is an iPad Mini 4, actually, that's kind of in bad shape, but it worked. I have a handheld with a shoulder mic. That's how you heard the audio. So that's about an inch away from the microphone hole on the iPad. Now, there's advantages of doing this, and there's advantages of not doing this. Doing it this way, you're going to pick up all the background noise, whether it's a fan that's running, whether if it's storming outside, the wind, etc. But the one advantage is I could hear my fan that's on that radio, and I'll explain that in a minute, but I could hear that in between this duty cycle testing when it was in wait mode, so that told me my fan was running. Now my fan and my power supply started to make noise. There must be a bearing in there going bad or something, but nevertheless, that's how I did that. Now, this is my private video feed, which is a wireless camera that just kind of aimed at the meters, so that if I needed to, if YouTube went down or something, I wanted to make sure my radio gear is okay, I was able to use my private video feed. Also, I have the radios plugged into a Wi-Fi outlet that I can turn off remotely. So if I saw something like the temperatures go high, the wattage, I would shut it down. So that's how I did that. Now, this is obviously on the battery eliminator, and this is programmed to this repeater frequency. So when you heard the repeater key up, you actually heard it playing over the airwaves. And I did have LED lights in here, so you might have heard some buzzing or whatever, but that's standard reason. So speaking of lighting, I have a LED 100-watt bulb there. I have another LED that kind of shined on the temperature probe meter to help show that. So let's go ahead and explain all these meters. This is the way that was that night. This one here is my temperature meter for outdoor and indoor, and I have them labeled. I know it was a little bit cut off in the stream, I believe. Well, I should rephrase that. If you're using a computer, it wasn't cut off. If you're on a phone, you might have just got you might have missed some of the edge on there. But nevertheless, this is a wireless temperature. The bottom is the indoor temperature. The top is the outdoor temperature. So I knew the temperature, so I could calculate the rise time temperature. So I could kind of do some math to kind of figure out where this was going to go. So this is the output wattage meter, and this is my temperature probe meter. And the white cable there, you can kind of see it being fished up, goes inside the radio, and it's on the output IC tab. Metal tab. That's the temperature I was reading. I have a fan mod. Obviously the fan mod that I'm running, you got to leave the cover off the radio. It's an 80mm fan blowing right on the output circuit to help keep it cool. This temperature probe meter, there is a way to disable auto shut off, so I did that. I put all fresh new batteries in this before I did the live stream, and I disabled the auto shut off, and that's why you could hear it beep occasionally throughout the video, because this was beeping to let me know it was still on. I couldn't turn off the beep. So this bottom radio is receive radio. This top radio is transmit radio. I do have the power supply there, and I have a duplexer there. I have this on the repeater rack. I do have the rack and the fan mod available. I'll post that link down below. But then I built another rack that you can see here. I did a video about it a few months ago. This rack here, the wooden part, I can grab that handle and take all this out at once, which would include the power supply, the duplexer, everything's all mounted. I just got to unplug the power cable and unscrew the antenna, so I can move it in and out. So that's what that handle is there for. I did have a microphone jack plugged into that, or the microphone plugged in. I did not need it that night, but I did have that. This is also on a Wi-Fi outlet. So if I saw something I didn't like through my private video feed or on YouTube, I was able to kill the power to this repeater using the smart Wi-Fi outlet. Back here, normally I have computers running. I turned everything off to try to help with any interference. All the computers were shut off. You might have heard some buzzing and humming because of the LED lights that I have, but that's just the way it is. Oh, fun fact, this is such in bad shape, I have to use a clip to hold the screen on, and my screen has a black line, so I got to get something different. But just for you people out there that want to know about live stream, in my case, I found out real quickly when I was doing my practicing off the camera before the actual live stream date, that you have to have, at least for an iPad mini, I had to get another wall wart that was 45 watts to be able to keep up leaving the iPad on for 11 hours without draining the battery and then shutting down. During my practice runs, I ran into a problem. Even though I had it plugged in the power, it was not keeping up and it was running off a battery still. So I had to buy a 45 watt adapter to power this iPad. I'll probably replace this with a cheap cell phone. Just put the cell phone on Wi-Fi. So that's probably what's going to happen. Because like I said, this thing is It's the screen's going bad. There's a black line. I got a clip holding the screen on because the battery swelled up. It's seen better days. Still works good though, but anyway, so that's what that is there. Of course, this is on a battery eliminator. That power, there's a cord right there for plugging it in. That power supply is back in there. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? No, I told you about the fan mod, blowing on the output IC. That fan runs all the time. And that's kind of the beauty of doing this. I could have plugged a cable right from the output of that right into the iPad, but the problem was my jack on my iPad is bad, so it wasn't working right. So I had to come up with this. And the advantage of doing it this way, with the microphone that close, I could make sure the fan was still running. So that's the beauty of it. So it looks like the data we got, or at least the data that I got, that the temperature difference seemed to average about 28 degrees. What I mean by that is you take the indoor temperature and then you subtract it from the temperature probe, and that will give you the rise temperature. Okay, so when I knew that figure about 28 degrees, I can calculate if it was a warmer day, what that temp probe would probably say. So like in this example, I believe when I started the test, it was 54 degrees out, indoor temperature. My temp probe was 82 during transmit, so that's about a 28 degrees temp rise. So if you take that figure and then we reverse it, and let's say if it was 90 degrees out, then we add 90 plus the 28 degrees, that would tell me what this temp probe would read if my indoor temperature was 90 degrees, which I believe it was 118 or something. If I remember right. So I got data to be able to calculate approximately what the temperature would be when warmer temperatures come about, which is good data to have. I think that this thing, even with one fan, would be able to keep up. I've had this thing off camera up to 109 degrees during my other testing, and how I did that was, it was warmer out. I did less duty cycle, but it was warmer out, meaning the outside temperature was warmer. So knowing that data plus the data today, I'm pretty sure if it was 90 degrees out, that fan would keep up. But what I might do, just for the heck of it, the bottom of that transmit radio is a big heat sink, so I might get me a 145 millimeter fan and have it, and I'll make a bracket underneath my repeater rack, and then I'll have another fan there to really help cool it, so that you could lower that probe temperature probably more by blowing away some of that heat off that heat sink. But nevertheless, that's how this night I did this. There may be a part 2 video. Maybe I'll try to do 100% duty test. Maybe whatever. You guys can post in the comments what you like to see next. I already got this set up. It's just a matter of pushing a few buttons now. So let me know in the comments. Hope I hear from you. I'll put all the links to all the fan mod that I offer, the repeater rack, that you can't really see it there, but the repeater rack, all that, I'll post that link down below. I'll post a link to my custom built duty tester so you can watch that video. Any questions or comments, post them down below. Please subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a good day.